Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 89th Annual Postgraduate Convention Gala. We trust you've been enjoying this APC weekend at our medical alma mater in Loma Linda. My name is David Creamer from the class of 2004, and I am the APC Governing Board Chair. On behalf of the Planning Committee, I want to welcome you to the 2021 Virtual APC Gala. Tonight, we thank you all for joining us in recognizing our alumni awardees and in celebrating the honored class of 1971 and 1996. The Alumni Association and the School of Medicine are grateful for your continued support. We also want to extend a warm welcome to the class of 2021. We are glad you are here with us this evening, and a special thank you for our student table sponsors. Your generosity is greatly appreciated. It is a delight to see each and every one of you here this evening, and you are in for one incredible program that I believe you will enjoy. But before we begin, I want to give a special thanks to John Kattenhorn for all his hard work to make tonight possible. I also want to thank the Alumni Association and the staff, the alumni of Loma Linda University, the friends and family of those that care about the university, and of course, the future alumni of Loma Linda University. As we begin, we welcome the Lord into this place to have Him celebrate with us in a special recognition of what the Lord has done in each and every one of our lives. Tonight, we also want to recognize those who have passed away in the last year. We have had many notable losses since last year, and we would like to spend a few minutes to honor those who are no longer with us, but have honored our school and our God by their service. Please join us as we pay our respect to these past alumni. I am pleased to announce that tonight's gala event is sponsored by the Faculty Medical Group of Loma University Health. Here to speak about the work of the FMG is Dr. Riccardo Perverini. Please welcome him now.
Once again, Loma Linda University Faculty Medical Group is pleased to be the title sponsor for the 89th Annual Postgraduate Convention Gala. Organized in 1995, LLU Faculty Medical Group employs clinicians from all 22 clinical departments of the school. Today, we have grown to over 1,200 clinicians providing services for many patients in the Inland Empire. As the school's clinical faculty, we are committed to superior training and excellence in clinical care, thereby continuing the teaching and healing ministry of Jesus Christ. Education and excellence in clinical care are at the core of what we do on a daily basis. We collaborate with hospital leadership at the 6 LLU Health hospitals, as well as a large number of ambulatory clinics, including an urgent care center, an imaging facility, as well as a radiation therapy center. We also provide clinical services at the Veteran Administration community-based outpatient clinics, the SAC system, Riverside University Health System, Arrowhead Regional Medical Center, and other clinical partners in the area. There are many reasons why physicians choose to join Loma Linda University Faculty Medical Group. Here are a few of our clinical faculty to share their experience.
With the mission of making man whole, I feel that not only do I apply that in my day-to-day life at home, I also apply that to my patients. And having the same mission at where I work as what I personally believe in has really drawn me to start working here and to stay working here.
I love working at Loma Linda University Health because of the colleagues that I have, the patients that I get to see, and just the community I get to work in.
My working environment here at Loma Linda University Health has allowed me to be able to collaborate more closely with my specialists and other primary care colleagues to be able to offer comprehensive care to my patients.
I love the opportunity to not only care for my patients, but teach medical students and residents. I'll never forget my first day as an attending back on the job here and that surreal feeling of just years ago, that was me, that med student, that resident, standing across, and now I have that incredible opportunity.
It's not just an arm or a leg. You're looking at the whole patient from top down. And that is what, to me, whole person care is and what Christ-centered care was all about.
Whatever your story, we're honored to celebrate with you today, and we wish to thank each of you for all you do to represent the mission of Loma Linda University School of Medicine.
Thank you, Dr. Perverini, for your words and for your support of the FMG and the work that they do. So now I am pleased to introduce the MC for this evening, Roger Schwelt from the class of 2000.
Welcome to the 89th Annual Postgraduate Convention, and I can guarantee that this is the first time we have done this virtually. By now, you may have gotten used to terms like virtual, Zoom, and login, which have now entered the general vernacular. It's amazing how much history has occurred in the last 12 months. We went from an epidemic to a pandemic, a discussion of possible vaccine, to 3 different vaccines being available, and now the thought that how do we ever live without masks? However, the aim and the goal of the Alumni Association transcends all of these particulars. In its supporting role of the School of Medicine of Loma Linda University, whose motto is to make man whole, our Alumni Association will always find a job to fill, a role to play, and a mission to complete. Here we are again, rain or shine, each and every year, to celebrate those students and graduates who have risen beyond the norm and who have personified the attributes of the Alumni Association: connect, create, and care. Tonight we will honor them, but also God, who made all of this possible with His guidance. May He continue to guide us through the dark as He illuminates us with the light that we may reflect to others and lead them to an understanding unto life. Now we have a gala to enjoy, which means it's time for me to introduce to you our outgoing alumni president, Dr. Deb Stottlemyre.
1 year ago, we gathered together in person at the Riverside Convention Center for the 88th Gala. Today, we gather remotely for the 89th. While COVID has affected every aspect of both our lives and this APC weekend, it cannot dim the intensity of our celebration tonight. We celebrate the class of 2021, who will graduate in May and join our ranks as alumni. Those of us who have gone before still remember our senior year gala and the joy of graduation weekend. So, class of 2021, enjoy the meal we gifted to you and your guest while we watch the stories of you and your classmates and are entertained by you throughout the evening. Thank you. You may have heard that the gala is also an event where the alumni provide a gift card lottery drawing for the seniors. Usually that happens immediately after the gala, but tonight it will be done virtually, with names being drawn throughout the gala. So stay tuned inside your student APC Gala Zoom room, where the winners will be announced. To our honored classes of 1971 and 1996, one of my greatest sorrows as your president this year was realizing that our celebration of your faithful service would not be in person. But we most assuredly celebrate you. Last year, as the incoming president, I talked about what the gala means to me. A moment to pause and listen to the stories of my colleagues and refresh the fire in my heart to continue to serve. Stories, with their power to inspire, also help us to continue to be proud of our school. The privilege we have been granted to become trained healers comes with responsibility, and I claim one of our responsibilities to be storytelling, telling our stories to each other and to future generations of healers. There are many stories around all the things our Alumni Association accomplished this year. Remember the missing regalia? But let me highlight another one, launching the new Alumni Paying It Forward Scholarship. The story of how Weldon Schumacher, class of 1962, was able to bequeath $11 million to us for student tuition aid was just the first chapter. Building a sustainable double-match scholarship program was the second chapter. The story continues to unfold. We are in the process of selecting the first recipients, some of whom are in the class of 2021. When these seniors come back in 25 years as an honored class, they will also be among the first to return the favor by contributing toward the cost of tuition for future medical students. I look forward to hearing their stories in the decades to come. My term as your president has been an unusual one, and I would be remiss if I did not pause to acknowledge that all the work done on your behalf is done by a team. My thanks to each member of the alumni staff, as well as my fellow officers, council chairs, and board members. The creative ways in which you carried out the mission and vision of our board during this pandemic has amazed me. We are blessed to have each one of you. Your incoming president, John Cattenhorn, class of 1974, has already served us in profound ways. He is well prepared to lead our community in the post-COVID world, and I commend him to you. Hey, John, thanks for producing the gala again this year for the 6th time. You're doing a fantastic job of delivering it virtually. Now, as my talking is what stands between you and the stories we are about to hear, may I invite you to listen in as we celebrate the contributions of two of our own in mission.
Living in Africa as a child sparked this honoree's passion for mission service. He resolved to one day return as a missionary physician. After completing medical school and a residency in family practice, he and his wife Deanne made good on his resolution and embarked on 13 years of mission work in Africa. Their first stop was Maluti Adventist Hospital in Lesotho, where he served as both staff physician and surgeon before accepting a call to Zambia. In Zambia, he served as the medical director at Mwami Adventist Hospital for 9 years. The challenges were many. Political tensions and war made it difficult to procure needed supplies for the hospital. Blessings were abundant too. Our honoree and his wife welcomed 2 sons and enjoyed forming connections with the people in their community. As medical director, our honoree prioritized unifying the diverse hospital staff and elevating the level of care by recruiting care providers and expanding the nursing school. Returning to the United States, our honoree settled in Walla Walla, Washington in 1987. He practiced family medicine there until his retirement in 2017. He served as both president of the Blue Mountain Medical Group and as chief of staff for Walla Walla General Hospital. He has led 10 short-term mission trips back to Africa and continues to be passionate about mission service. Today, he enjoys spending time with his grandchildren and writing articles for Adventist Today. And now, from the class of 1971, please welcome Dr. John B. Hain.
I was named after my mother's father.
During his undergraduate years at Atlantic Union College, our honoree spent a mission year in Mexico assisting Maurice Butler, class of 1952. There he caught a glimpse of the life of a mission doctor. Upon completing medical school and a rotating internship at Washington Adventist Hospital, he was eager to serve overseas once again. This honoree became a Trans-Africa Division appointed relief physician. As such, he was on call to fill in wherever and whenever needed within the division, often on very short notice. From 1969 to 1984, he and his family moved 9 times within Africa. He served in Tanzania, Zambia, Malawi, Rwanda, and Kenya. In many of these locations, our honoree arrived at hospitals in times of great need and disorder. His position required him to step in and restore a sense of normalcy and functionality until a more permanent physician could be recruited to take his place. After returning to the United States, he practiced in Southern California and joined Loma Linda University as an instructor of preventative medicine. He was later recruited as a lifestyle medicine consultant in both Singapore and England. Our honoree returns to Africa on a regular basis. Today, he endeavors to protect young women in Western Kenya from dangerous cultural traditions that jeopardize their bodily health. He has produced a book illuminating the issue and telling their stories. He hopes to return to Africa as soon as it is safe to do so. And now, from the class of 1968, please welcome Dr. Bradley W. Nelson.
Thanks so much for this opportunity.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue this evening's program, we will recognize the 2021 honored alumni. Throughout the evening, as tonight's special entertainment, we will enjoy short videos and musical numbers featuring members of the graduating class of 2021. I suspect that we are in for a treat. But first, we need to hear from our incoming Alumni Association President, Dr. John Cadenhorn.
Welcome, everyone. This is it. As Jimmy Fallon would say, you are here. It is the 2021 Gala, different in so many ways. Along with the entire alumni staff and APC team, I am so glad that you can be with us this evening. We are especially thankful for our honored classes, including the soon-to-be alumni, the class of 2021, our 25th year honored class from 1996, and of course the esteemed 50th year honored class from 1971. Before I talk about how we got here this evening, I just want to take a couple of moments to pay a special tribute and thank the many folks who were instrumental in making this evening happen. First, we've already heard from Dr. Stottlemyre this evening. And if I could look at her instead of Jonathan and this camera here in front of me, and if we weren't living in the middle of a COVID pandemic, I would smile, give her a big hug and say, Deb, you have been a most amazing president, a pillar of leadership, an amazing source of inspiration, and an example that will be difficult for me or anyone to follow. Your shoes may be too big for me. I'm just thankful that though her term may be over, her presence in our organization is not. Secondly, we have an amazing staff at the Alumni Association, including Calvin, our executive director, Armine, Jonathan, Nancy, Sue, Carolyn, and our newest member, Megan. None of this would happen tonight without the hard work and dedication of each of them. My thanks to them all. Thirdly, our APC Governing Council, led by Dr. Creamer, has shouldered the huge responsibility of planning and executing this unique and virtual weekend. They are amazing. A year ago, as we got close to the APC weekend and the gala, there was talk about this new virus thingy, the corona or something like that. We may have asked, is this going to be safe? Well, we forged ahead. APC was a success. It was safe. But as you all know, our country was shut down less than 1 week later. This year, we are obligated to present this evening as a virtual event. We look forward to meeting again next year, all dressed up, good food, live music, and most importantly, wonderful fellowship. Speaking of fellowship, I would like to think that our Alumni Association is the master at creating and sustaining fellowship. In so many ways, we represent a very unique culture of fellowship that for many extends back to medical school, college, maybe academy, or even grade school, and often knows no geographical boundary. This is a culture which we all cherish and need to nurture in so many ways, and that I believe has been absolutely vital to us throughout this very difficult year. This past year, in spite of COVID, the pandemic, and politics, we have had a good year. The rollout of the Paying It Forward Scholarship was a huge milestone for our alumni organization. And in many ways, I hope that it helps to better define us in the future. Our mantra, connect, create, and care, is exemplified by connecting with our alumni and future alumni, creating an opportunity to make a significant impact on our young students' lives, and caring for them in the future. I want to personally challenge every one of you, our esteemed alumni, to take this time to become involved in this amazing opportunity. I am truly honored to serve as your Alumni Association president for the coming year. I am thankful for and blessed by the organization of the Alumni Association, its staff, and the many alumni who serve on various committees and councils. I pray that God continues to lead and to bless us. But enough about that for now. We have a gala to enjoy. There's honored alumni, unique student stories, and then some very special music from our soon-to-be alumni. Since 1947, the Alumni Association has given out both Honored Alumni Awards and an Alumnus of the Year Award. When choosing honored alumni, we look at the contributions to medical education, medical research, community and international service, government and military service, support of the goals and objectives of the School of Medicine of Loma Linda University, and participation in the appropriate national and international medical and surgical societies. Tonight, Dr. Thomas, Dean of the School of Medicine, and I have the privilege of acknowledging our honored alumni and the work that they have done. We will begin the formal part of our program this evening with an amazing student story, a musical number, followed by our first honoree. Please stay tuned.
Ever since I was a little kid, I was always climbing all over things, out of the crib, anywhere I could get to. At one point, my parents put like 2 baby gates up to try to keep me in my room, and even that couldn't stop me. As the story goes, I climbed over both gates with my bottle and my blankie in my mouth. So, to put that energy to some good use, they got me involved in gymnastics pretty early on in my life, and I did that for about 10 years. Around 13 or 14 years old, I started getting just a lot of chronic and overuse injuries, which is a common story for most girls around that time. And it just kind of became too hard on my body and not quite worth pursuing anymore. So obviously after going from, training, 4 or 5 days a week to having nothing to do, I had a lot of energy again. One of the girls that I used to do gymnastics with started going to just our local rec center and started climbing there. She got me into it, and before you know it, we were begging our moms to drive us to the climbing gym, and I participated in bouldering and sport climbing as a youth competitor for a couple years, but I would say outside climbing is what really draws me to the sport. I don't think it's any secret that med school is hard. I had some times where I didn't even want to go climb on my day off because I was so burnt out and tired, and all I wanted to do was sleep. My fiance would literally push me out the door, like, just go climb. And every day, at any time he ever did that, I came back just 100 pounds lighter and a million times happier. I think one of the most important things climbing has given me is just the community and the amazing people I've met through the sport. And, there's a handful of residents and fellows and attendings, and, it's fun because with climbing, that hierarchy goes away and we're all just climbing. I've climbed a few 513s, and then as far as bouldering, I've climbed V10. I have some number goals, but I'd like to climb 514 and V12, but those are just kind of lofty goals at this point. My family is really supportive of me climbing. They know how important it is to me, but also my mom's gotten into climbing a little bit because of me as well. We did a trip together to Spain a few years ago. I think it was when I was in college still. And we went to Montserrat outside of Barcelona. And we did, I think it was a 4 or 5 pitch, 5/8. And she did awesome. And it was, one of the coolest days ever with my mom. I think it makes me a better doctor in a lot of ways. I think, one, it gives me a great outlet for my stress, and I think burnout is so prevalent in medicine today. And, it's brought me to a lot of different parts of the country and different parts of the world, and it just makes me happy. And I think happy doctors are better doctors. Any day climbing is a good day, even if I fail miserably at what I set out to do, even if I cry at the crag. But yeah, the reality is it totally takes my mind off of any of the real life stresses that are going on, and it's the best way to kind of reset before starting another week.
I lift my hands in total can sing to you this song. I just want to say that I love you more than anything. I lift my hands in total adoration unto you. You reign on the throne, for you are God and God alone. Because of you, my cloudy days are gone. I can sing to you this song. I just want to say that I love you more than anything. I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you, Lord, I love you more than anything. I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you, Lord, I love you more than anything. 'Cause Jesus went to Calvary to save a wretch like you and me. That's love. That's love. They hung him high, they stretched him wide. He hung his head, for me he died. That's love. That's love. But that's not how the story ends. 'Cause in 3 days he rose again. That's love. That's love. That's love. That's love. That's love. 'Cause I love you more than anything. Yes, I love you more. Yeah. 'Cause I love you more than anything.
After completing medical school and a residency in emergency medicine at Loma Linda, this honoree joined the faculty and established the longest-running international emergency medicine fellowship in the nation. She also helped organize and lead several medical mission trips overseas. Transitioning to Duke University, she was the first female division chief of surgery and the inaugural division chief of emergency medicine. Building the academic program from the ground up, she established the Duke Emergency Medicine Residency Program. Upon returning to Loma Linda in 2007, she became the first female chair of any department within the School of Medicine. She led the Department of Emergency Medicine for 9 years, emphasizing excellence in education and developing medical leaders. She was instrumental in designing the new patient-centered emergency department. Moving to Florida, our honoree served as Chief Medical Officer and Vice President of Emergency Services at Advent Health East Orlando. She went on to serve as Executive Vice President and Chief Clinical Officer of Advent Health System, where she helped create and implement a physician leadership training program. Today, she teaches medical students at Geisel School of Medicine at Dartmouth. Throughout her career, she has contributed to 30 peer-reviewed publications. She has held national leadership positions, chaired numerous national committees, and received recognition for her advocacy work for diversity and women in emergency medicine. Our honoree and her husband, Terry, have 2 children and reside in Arlington, Vermont. Please welcome, from the class of 1989, Dr. Kathleen J. Clem.
I am very honored to be a part of Loma Linda, to have trained there in a place that has prepared me to practice medicine anywhere in the world. I'm especially grateful for my mentors, for Clifton Reeves especially, and for Tammy Thomas, who has been a peer mentor and a friend for many, many years. I'm thankful for my family, especially my husband and my children who have been with me throughout. And I'm also very thankful that I have had the influence of a Christian education to carry me throughout my career.
After completing medical school in 1984, our honoree stayed at Loma Linda to finish a pediatric residency as well as a fellowship in neonatology. He completed a master's degree in computer science at UC Davis and a master's degree in medical informatics at Stanford University. He returned to join the Loma Linda neonatology faculty in 1992. Since then, he has served in numerous clinical capacities, including chief of the Division of Neonatology for 13 years. He served as the medical school's associate dean for clinical faculty and is now vice dean for clinical affairs. Our honoree's leadership shaped the school's clinical faculty corporate structure. Together with others, he coordinated the consolidation of over 20 separate physician corporations into a single integrated medical group now named Loma Linda University Faculty Medical Group. He has served as the group's president since 2001. His leadership and vision have been important to the group's growth and success through the years. His expertise in medical informatics was extremely valuable as he led the team implementing EPIC, the institution-wide electronic healthcare record system in both inpatient and outpatient settings. He and his wife Kathleen Lau, class of 1982, live in Loma Linda. They have 2 sons, Andrew, class of 2023, and Daniel, class of 2024. He enjoys spending time with the family, hiking, and building Lego models. And now, from the class of 1984, please welcome Dr. Ricardo L. Peverini.
Good evening. It's nice to see all of you. I would like to thank the Alumni Association for this award. It's been my privilege to have been associated with the School of Medicine since 1980. As I thought as to what I would say, I'm reminded that all of our lives are built on the architecture of relationships and friendships, on trust, on communication, and on shared experiences. I, of course, want to thank the Lord for His countless blessings and also acknowledge my wonderful wife, Kathleen, for her love and support, and as well as that of my 2 sons, Daniel and Andrew. I can't name all those that I have had the privilege to work with, but I will name a few individuals. In my journey in the neonatology and pediatrics world, I've learned so much from babies and their families. I've also had the privilege of working with many, including John Mace, Richard Chinnick, Chu Cha, Nydia Wiemeister, Douglas Deming, Andrew Hopper, and Ella Fayard. In the clinical informatics world, I've worked with many talented people, including Ted Young, Tom Slezak, Ted Shortliff, Steve Corbett, Francis Chan, Beth Elwell, and Mark Zirkelbach. It's been an honor to work with 3 School of Medicine deans, first with Brian Bull, then with Roger Hadley for almost 20 years, and now with Tammy Thomas. The formation of the LLU Faculty Medical Group has been a huge amount of effort from so many people, and I certainly value the work of Paul Herman, Bob Martin, Herb Ruckel, Anthony Hilliard, and many others. The unifying fabric to all these names and relationships is the shared commitment to improve the journey for our patients and for our students. Again, thank you very much for this award.
Our next two honorees met and married in medical school before graduating together in 1979. Both stayed at Loma Linda to complete their residencies, one in pediatrics and the other in orthopedic surgery. They were recruited to Siskiyou County, a severely medically underserved region in Northern California. Medical resources were scarce when they arrived at what they affectionately call their stateside mission field. One of our honorees was the only board-certified pediatrician in the county, and as such, assumed a 24/7 pediatric call. For 21 years, she pioneered pediatric care throughout the underserved region, educating the hospital staff, acquiring modern equipment, and saving the lives of hundreds of children. She also made the first diagnosis of pediatric HIV in the county and consulted for state developmental disability services. Our other honoree served as chief of staff and was the lead physician responsible for raising funds to construct Fairchild Medical Center, which replaced the existing antiquated hospital. A milestone for the community, the new hospital allowed our honoree to elevate the level of musculoskeletal care available in the region. He also funded a community medical clinic to serve the large population of patients on state-funded Medi-Cal insurance. In addition, he served as an adjunct faculty member for UC Davis School of Medicine and enjoyed teaching rotating medical students. In 2006, our honorees re-established their practices in Walla Walla, Washington. Since then, they have collectively participated in and led 9 short-term medical mission trips to the Pacific Islands. Through partnership with Canvasback Missions, these trips focused on total joint replacement and trauma surgery. They now live in College Place, Washington, and have 2 children, Matthew L. Henderson, class of 2012, and Kristen. They are proud grandparents to 3 grandchildren. And now, from the class of 1979B, please welcome Doctors Karen W. and Richard L. Henderson.
Greetings from the beautiful Pacific Northwest. Rick and I would like to thank the Alumni Association for this honor. And we would also at the same time like to acknowledge our many fellow alumni who, like we, have lived and practiced in rural small town America throughout our careers, where Rick and I often felt that we were practicing in our stateside mission field. Throughout our careers, we have felt blessed by the time that we had at Loma Linda, and we have tried our best to practice with excellence in serving our community and our patients.
You know, I've tended to think of myself as a humble bone mason plying his trade out in rural America, far removed from academia. But the truth is, I have benefited tremendously from the high academics at Loma Linda University, and I have learned principles and strategies that I still use to this day. But I also benefited because when I rolled in on registration day, I spotted a pretty blonde girl across the room from North Carolina, and I haven't taken my eyes off of her for 45 years. Also, let me say that my classmate and first cousin, Marty Baum, acted as matchmaker, so thank you, Marty.
And also thank you again to the School of Medicine for the excellent training that we received. In the Department of Pediatrics, I would like to specifically recognize several people who were influential in my developing the art and science of pediatrics, and those people are Dr. John Mace, Dr. Lynn Behrens, Dr. Nydia Viemeister, and Dr. Ravindra Rao. Thank you.
In the world of surgery, I think that a surgeon learns strategies and solutions to problems that he or she uses the rest of his life. And that certainly is true in my case. And I learned important principles from every one of my attendings, but I especially want to mention Dr. Barney Johnson, Dr. Virgil Wood, Dr. Philip Reiswig as giants in their field. They were just simply great teachers. Also, it turns out that we benefited in another way from our medical training, and that is we've been privileged to participate in 9 mission trips with campus-backed missions out to Micronesia, which includes the Marshall Islands, the Federated States of Micronesia, and Palau. And I have to say, there's probably no better pay than somebody telling you, thank you for helping me to walk again, when you knew that there was no other solution for their problem.
Lastly, and most importantly, we would like to thank our beloved children. Our son, Dr. Matt Henderson, and his wife, Dr. Ashley Henderson, both School of Medicine graduates. Our daughter, Kristen Spalding, who is a math teacher, and her husband, attorney Michael Spalding. We thank them for their constant love and support, and we are also so blessed by our 3 grandchildren and another one on the way. How exciting is that?
Yahoo!
We live together in the Pacific Northwest, so we get a chance to see each other and have so much fun together on a regular basis.
Life is good, and we're blessed.
Born in Indonesia, this honoree finished her nursing degree in the Philippines before moving to the United States for medical school at Loma Linda. She completed a residency in anesthesiology at the University of Louisville and a fellowship in obstetric anesthesia at Stanford University. After 6 years of private practice, our honoree joined the faculty of the anesthesiology department at Loma Linda and stayed for 38 years. She served as the anesthesia service chief of the East Campus and the Outpatient Surgery Center. During her tenure, the anesthesia training program grew at both locations. Our honoree helped establish several scholarships for medical students, including the Marilyn Herber Endowment Fund and the Pacific Rim Scholarship Fund. An integral part of the Loma Linda community for decades, she served on the Institutional Review Board for 26 years and was instrumental in raising the bar of scientific research in the McPherson Society. She was also a member of the Alumni Association Board of Directors and the APC Governing Board. The Adventist University of the Philippines named her Alumna of the Year in 2005 for her contributions towards helping students reach for higher education in the Philippines. Since 1985, our honoree has dedicated her life to international mission work. Her efforts are concentrated on hospitals, churches, schools, and orphanages. Together with her husband, Daniel Ino, class of 1978B, they founded the Global Outreach Fellowship, a nonprofit organization focused on international mission projects. She and her husband currently reside in Loma Linda. And now, from the class of 1971, please welcome Dr. Shirley Tan Ino.
2 years after graduating from medical school, I sustained a massive stroke. I had a 2-week-old baby. Many people thought my life would be over. But now, ladies and gentlemen, 48 years later, I'm still alive. I thank you for the privilege to be recognized by my peers for such an honor. I thank the Lord for prolonging my life because He was not through with me yet. I thank Mrs. Luella Kretschmer for faithfully depositing funds in my account during medical school. Dr. Randy Green, who sold his collection of silver coins to help pay for my other expenses. Dr. James Carter, who loaned me his textbooks. Dr. Gordon Hadley, who rooted for me and encouraged me to succeed. Dr. Floyd Brower and Dr. Robert Martin for giving me the position as a faculty member in the Department of Anesthesiology for 38 years. As for my classmates, Dr. Jeff Kale, thank you for keeping our class informed for 50 years. Dr. Irene Sirikoranan, thank you for being my best roommate at Columbia University. My brother, Dr. Stanley Tan, who is always loving, caring, thoughtful, and full of life. I received a Christmas card from the Alumni Association. This time, I only recognized Caroline Weider from the old gang. Even AT was gone. We thank Mr. Calvin Chuang, our executive director. You have done well. Our senior medical students, you're going to be our fellow alumni soon. Remember your experiences in medical school. They made you who you are. Be proud of being Loma Linda University alumni. The Lord has been with you in the past few years. Take care of yourselves and get ready to give back. My loving husband, Dr. Daniel Inyo, you're one of the best things that happened to me in my life. Thank you for your love. Finally, our most distinguished president, Dr. Deborah Stottlemyre. You have my utmost respect and admiration. Thank you for your leadership, ministry, and friendship. May the Lord continue to bless us all, especially this year. It will be the best. Thank you.
Upon completing medical school and endocrinology fellowship at Loma Linda, this honoree stayed as practicing faculty at the Faculty Medical Group until 1989. He continued to teach while practicing in the area until 2001. He then embarked on 20 years of endocrinology research and practice that took him to 11 hospitals across the United States. In many of these places, he was the first or only endocrinologist on staff. He was instrumental in establishing the Endocrinology and Diabetes Center at Cape Fear Valley Health System and served as far away as Tripler Army Medical Center in Honolulu. Throughout his career, he has spearheaded groundbreaking research in his field. His world-renowned work with Dr. Lee Burke on the neuroendocrine and immune effects of mirthful laughter and exercise placed Loma Linda at the forefront of psychoneuroimmunology. In recent years, this honoree has collaborated with his wife, cardiologist Linda G. Tan, class of 1973. They study the relationship between diabetes mellitus, hyperlipidemia, and cardiovascular disease. His work elucidated the inflammatory cytokine connection to diabetes mellitus and cardiovascular disease. This research has been instrumental in getting FDA approval of certain statins to increase HDL cholesterol and decrease triglycerides. Our honoree's work has earned him recognition from both the American College of Chest Physicians and the American College of Cardiology. He remains active in research and regularly presents his work. Today, he teaches and practices at Fayetteville VA Medical Center, where he serves as endocrine section chief. He and his wife Linda live in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And now, from the class of 1971, please welcome Dr. Stanley A. Tan.
I am honored to be recognized by Loma Linda University School of Medicine alumni. I love to do research. Research answers many unknowns, which is exciting and makes medicine fun. I am proud to be a Loma Linda alumnus. After being on LLU faculty until 1989, I went out to practice in private sectors, teaching at Duke University, University of Hawaii, and Campbell University, and then working for U.S. government at military and VA hospitals. I discovered that LLU alumni physicians are well respected outside, including in the military. LLU physicians had performed with honors. We have a unique health-oriented medical philosophy, and now the medical community acknowledge and pick up those preventive medicine principles. We need to continue our LLU pioneering health practices. Again, I am proud to be an LLU alumnus and am honored to receive this recognition. Thank you.
An avid adventurer, this honoree spent much of his career overseas. After completing medical school at Loma Linda, he went on to complete a general surgery internship at Riverside General Hospital. He then returned to Loma Linda for a residency in orthopedic surgery and subsequently joined the faculty for 2 years before beginning his career in mission service. In 1978, our honoree moved his family to Puerto Rico. The need for orthopedic care on the island was great, and the next 12 years were busy ones. Our honoree stretched the breadth of his practice to meet the variety of orthopedic needs, honing the arthroscopic skills he would use for the entirety of his career. He later traded beaches and snorkeling for the onion fields of Walla Walla, Washington. A smaller practice meant time to pursue new hobbies and traveling. He began leading short-term medical mission trips to Eastern Europe, Africa, Central America, and the Caribbean. After the devastating earthquake in Haiti, our honoree volunteered for a year as the medical director of the orthopedic program at Haiti Adventist Hospital. He produced a book about the earthquake, and the proceeds established an endowment that will financially support the orthopedic program in perpetuity. In 2006, he joined a large hospital system in Wisconsin where he worked building the orthopedic program from the ground up until his retirement at age 70. Today, our honoree and his wife, Jeannie, live in Vancouver, Washington, and enjoy being grandparents to their 5 grandsons. Now, from the class of 1971, please welcome Dr. Terry J. Dietrich.
Our North Dakota farmhouse never saw a coat of paint. It had no running water. Illumination came from kerosene lanterns in the beginning. My father was a farmer, as were both of my grandfathers. My uncles and cousins were all farmers, laborers, or petty criminals. What were the chances that I could or would become a professional? My father eventually left that inconsequential farm with rock-filled fields to become an educator. He was an intelligent and wise person. He knew the importance of knowledge and only allowed me and my siblings to be gifted books for birthdays and Christmas. One of the books I received was the story of Dr. Stanley Sturgis, a graduate of CME 55. He and his wife Raylene served as medical missionaries to the people of Nepal. He built Shir Memorial Hospital during his service. That book, In the Valley of Seven Cities, made a huge impression on me. I decided to become a medical missionary like Dr. Sturgis. Good grades came easily and led to a successful pre-med program at Union College. It was during my clinical rotations during my last year at the School of Medicine that I discovered that I was born to be an orthopedic surgeon. I was even more fortunate to become one. The subsequent 45 years of orthopedic practice have been filled with tremendous experiences. Our 12 years of full-time mission service fulfilled my plan to follow in the steps of Dr. Sturgis, who, in turn, was following in Christ's steps. I would like to give recognition to several people who have been a huge part of my life personally and professionally. My wife, Jeannie, is foremost. This lovely lady has been unbelievably tolerant of me for more than 50 years. I couldn't ask for a better life partner. Professionally, Dr. Virgil Wood was the perfect role model for the young orthopedic surgeon. He was the consummate teacher. Traveling with him throughout Africa to visit and work in many hospitals was a terrific enrichment of my residency. Dr. Clifton Reeves modeled the perfect balance of clinician, surgical professor, husband, father, and church leader. Many others, including Gordon Hadley, William Taylor, Ralph Thompson, Len Bailey, Tom Zirkle, and Charles Owen, were positive influences. This honor is truly special. Thank you, Alumni Association of Loma Linda University School of Medicine.
What a wonderful display of accomplishments and service we have just witnessed from each of you, our 2021 honored alumni.
You have honored your commitments to the field of medicine.
You have embodied the spirit and mission of our alma mater, Loma Linda University.
You have made man whole.
Our heartfelt thanks to each of you, and we pray that the Lord continues to bless you in all that you do.
Dr. Corey is quoted here saying in her medium piece, "The school will count me among their diverse faculty, but only if I compartmentalize my Blackness."
It really doesn't matter how educated you are, how well-spoken you are.
My life in America is informed by my racialized identity, but my livelihood is dependent on the comfort of other people.
I came to medical school not to bring diversity, but to bring a presence. I wanted to be the face in the room that a Black patient could look to and just breathe a sigh of relief, you know?
Just learn how to practice medicine, but also learn how to practice using your voice.
I'm very aware of me being the only Black person in the team. So I'm like, oh, are there any other Black students? Usually there aren't. They like to spread us apart, but usually there aren't. And then you look for your residents. Okay, any Black residents? Oh, there aren't any. Okay, my attending. Oh, there aren't any like Black attendings on this team. So I'm Martha.
Yep. I'm Adrienne.
We created a podcast called The Medical History in Color, where we wanted to be able to tell the stories of both the past and present stories of Black people and their contributions to medicine, and also not just the contributions, but what medicine has done to them or how medicine has treated them, both in the past and present.
And we wanted to tell the stories of Black students, in particular, Black trainees, Black residents, Black practitioners, and kind of celebrate some of that history too, because not all of it is dour. Some of it is honestly really awesome history that people just aren't aware of, and we kind of wanted to just kind of help people enjoy some of those same things about the history too.
So when I was in class and we would have lectures, we would talk about Black people, and it would always be like health risk. They're more likely to have diabetes or hypertension. And those were really the only stories of Black people we were hearing. We weren't hearing of the contributions that they made to medicine.
I also found that whenever you saw Black people kind of come up in our medical education, they come up as like the pathology or a group that's being pathologized instead of a group that has an agency and is actually contributing to shaping medical education and medical interventions and health interventions. And I thought that was something that was really important to kind of shed some light on.
And we would always just like have these talks where we'd just be talking and ranting for so long about being Black and being Black women in medical school. And we also used to say, oh, it'd be really cool if we had a podcast. But it was sort of like a joking, like a joking way. We're in medical school, like no one has time.
No one has time.
So lo and behold, I took a year off to do bioethics, and I worked for the Center for Christian Bioethics. And my bosses were like, they're super, super supportive, and really, I always felt like my voice was always being heard. I think it was actually Dr. Wee brought up a research idea for me, and I was like, I think this would be better if it was a podcast. So I brought it up to the CCB bosses, and they were like, yeah, that sounds great, go ahead. And then they bought me all my equipment. I was like, oh, I know who the perfect person for this. And I called up Adrian. I was like, Adrian, let's do this.
Telling the story of medical pioneers, of Black medical pioneers, allowed us to also bring in the stories of current practitioners and current trainees, right? So you have this really rich history that exists even now within your medical student body, and it's really a unique experience that medical students or Black medical students are having in medical education, and those stories aren't being told at all. Yeah, the podcast is called The Medical History in Color, and you can find it on the CCB and on Spotify and Apple or wherever you prefer to consume your podcast.
Good evening. My name is Gina Moore, and I have the privilege of serving as chair of the Student Affairs Council. I've held this position for a number of years and continue to do so mainly because it's such a fun committee to be on. I get to work with eager and enthusiastic students, and it's really been an honor. Over 40 years ago, the Student Affairs Council was formed to support students and really strengthen the relationship between students and the alumni. We hope that once students graduate, they can look back fondly on their years and remember how the Alumni Association benefited them and will now want to give back themselves. An important part of this endeavor are really the students who contribute. They really help guide and direct our activities. So in 2016, we developed the Student Affairs Council Representative Award to give to those students who have really dedicated their time and energy in serving this purpose. This year, it is my great delight to honor Lori Mae Nicholas. Lori has served her class wonderfully over the past 4 years. She has energized our discussions, come up with great ideas, and really given countless hours of dedication to this council on behalf of her class. So Lori, thank you for your hard work, for your zeal and energy with which you have served. I congratulate you and wish you all the best in the coming years.
Good evening. My name is Andrew Chang, and I'm the president of the class of 1990. It is my distinct honor and privilege to be able to present the Class of 1990 Heart for Service Award. This award was established by our class in 2015 to recognize a senior medical student who exemplified the character of Christ and demonstrated a commitment to service to their community, either at home or abroad. This award also comes with a $1,000 scholarship that is funded by the Class of 1990. This year, the School of Medicine has selected 2 members of the Class of 2021 to be recipients of the Heart for Service Award. The first recipient is Reed Nerness. Reed is a leader of the group tutoring program. She is a co-chair of the Student Committee for Curriculum Change. She is a mentor for Internal Medicine Interest Group. She's a member of the Academic Support Subcommittee and a peer coach in the STRIVE program. She is a member of the Student Vitality Task Force and a team member at the Cornerstone Free Medical Clinic. She is an individual and group tutor for pathophysiology and a Life Communities MS4 mentor. Congratulations to you, Reed. The second recipient from the Class of 2021 is Christoph Foster. Christoph is a leader of the Childhood Community Program at the San Bernardino SDA Church. He is also a co-director of the Healthy Neighborhood Project. He is a participant in the Street Medicine Clinics for the Homeless. He is a co-founder and co-director of the Healthcare Sparks program. He is a community service coordinator for the local and regional division of the Student National Medical Association. He created service grant opportunities and funding for community engagement projects. He organized a regional toy drive. He is a co-founder of the Student Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion School of Medicine Task Force. He is a director of the Pre-Medicine Symposium and Longitudinal Mentorship Program of the SNMA. And he takes an interest in the community members that he works with, buying them furniture, raising money for their needs, providing shelter if they're homeless, or visiting them in the hospital when they're sick. We want to extend our congratulations to you, Christoph, as well. Both you and Reed have accomplished a lot so far, and we look forward to the things that God will do through you in the future. Congratulations.
The event was Route 91. It was a big country music festival in Las Vegas. And it was actually pretty special to my wife and I because 2 years prior we had gone to the same festival, and that was what basically sparked our relationship in the first place. After going to that, we just had such an amazing time. It was one of my best friends from college and some of his friends. There were about 7 of us that we had never really met before that weekend, and by the end of the weekend we were all best friends. It had become clear there was some chemistry between Justine and I, and so that kind of hit things off for us. We started dating. So the second time we were now going, it was 2017, and we were getting most of the same crew back together. We were so excited to be going because we had such a great time last time. And at that time, Justine and I were engaged, and it was just it made the memory even more special just to see that, hey, look how far we've come from when we first came to Route 91 2 years ago. But unfortunately, by the end of the weekend, things really took a turn for the worst.
Oh my God, they're still shooting. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, they're still shooting.
In the middle of Jason Aldean's set, there was kind of this popping noise that sounded like firecrackers, but some people around us were kind of like, what is that? You kind of hear this questioning, and so we were a little hey, this is kind of weird, this seems kind of unexpected. And then once we saw people dropping and hitting the ground and everybody laying down, then we realized there's something way worse going on. When we were on the ground, and just looking around and seeing everybody else on the ground, and had heard some things and continued to hear these popping noises. The music had completely stopped at that point. And yeah, I just remember thinking oh my goodness, this is a shooting. I was almost preparing myself, what is it gonna feel like to get shot? When that thought first came in, I remember just being completely paralyzed with fear. I just didn't know what to do. And then in the back of my mind, I remember hearing just this voice that said, hey, you're gonna be okay, but you need to get Justine and everyone else out of there right now. And I knew that was God. Even though I couldn't really pray in that moment, I just felt his presence, and I heard that, and immediately the popping had stopped, and I looked around, I found Justine, I found my best friend Liam, and I said, hey, let's go. We need to get out of here. We saw people running off to the side, and we just booked it out of there. Thank God we were able to do that. We got away and no one got hurt. For the first couple weeks after the event, I had a very negative outlook on life. I had kind of lost trust in humanity, just after seeing such an evil act committed, just for no reason, for no apparent reason at all, and just to see how many lives were lost and changed forever, kind of wanted to just stay away from people. But thankfully, during those weeks, I was able to get plugged in with a therapist right away. And the other just really interesting thing was when I came back, at Loma Linda during our second year, we have religion courses, and the course I was in was God and human suffering. Sitting down and reading through biblical passages, reading through other religious beliefs about why there's suffering in the world, what purpose, if any, does it serve, and from the two aspects of getting professional therapy, but then also having this class, was so helpful to me, just to continue that healing process. And I don't think that would have happened if I wasn't at Loma Linda.
Longing for change, I'm lying here in these chains, crying out for help, waiting for love lying here in this cage. My sin has locked me down. Valley of change, valley of change. Shepherd, lead me, oh, valley to weep, valley to reap. Refresh me with your love, washing the dirt, healing the hurt. Prepare me for the dream, for the dream. I'm calling to you. I'm trapped in here, in my own thoughts, plaguing my own joy, surrounding me in your wings. Wash me clean, transform me in this place. Valley of trouble, gateway of hope. Slave woman, be released. Dream of the stars, dreaming of you. Love, it draws you close. Love set free. Sing of your glee, sing of your free. Teach me the song, trouble to flee. I am free, I am free. Dreaming so free, dreaming of you. Dream of the stars, promise so true. Ooh, 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 I am free. Dreaming so free, dreaming of you. Dream of the stars, promise so true. I am free, I am free. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a slave like me. I once was lost, but now I am found. Was caged, but now I'm free. I am 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 free. Dreaming so free. Dreaming of you. Dream of the stars. Promise so true. I am free. I am free. He is my healing tree, healing me so sweetly. Water made sweetly clean. I am a healing tree. I am free. I am healed, I am free, I am healed, set me free.
We will now continue celebrating the graduating class of 2021. First, we will hear from the class president. Join me in welcoming the president of her class and soon-to-be Dr. Joyce McRae.
Good evening. My name is Joyce McRae, and I'm the president of the class of 2021. And I just wanted to start off by saying a heartfelt thank you to our Alumni Association and all of our alumni for all of your support over the last 4 years. We certainly wouldn't be where we are today, and we won't be going where we're going if it wasn't for your support. I just wanted to share a little bit about the story behind our class gift. So in the summer of 2018, 5 of our classmates decided that they wanted to go on this kind of trip that was being organized by the School of Medicine and the university at large, going to one of the hospitals that had been pretty decimated by civil war in Angola. And so a big trip was created, and about 80 or so folks went off to Angola, and 5 of our classmates were able to go on that trip. They were inspired by some of the courage from one of the nurses there at Angola, Victoria, who had been there throughout the Civil War and actually was kidnapped at one point. But because of what happened, the hospital was destroyed, and then the plan most recently was to try to resurrect that hospital with this trip. And so our classmates went and were kind of inspired by that vision, but also a little bit discouraged because of just kind of some of the challenges that were faced during that trip, and just not the ability to get the hospital off the ground like we had hoped for. So when they came back and we as class officers were talking about a class gift, kind of the first thing that came to mind was bongo, and just wanting to support that hospital and support individuals like Victoria who had spent their life sacrificing for the people of Angola. So thankfully, over the last couple of years and through different fundraising efforts and through your support and support from the School of Medicine, we were able to raise about $3,000 that actually this past Christmas we were able to send off to Bongo. And the hope behind that money is to help support and kind of redevelop their clinical laboratory, which will provide necessary services for their patients. So thank you again for your support in this project for the class of 2021. And hopefully in the future, our class will be able to continue to support Bongo through our prayers, our financial gifts, and potentially even our presence.
Thank you to the class of 2021 for your generous gift to further our global mission. This is an essential piece of our students' education, and it will be well used. Thank you.
Now we will recognize this year's honored classes, beginning with the 25th anniversary class of 1996. While we usually love to see all of our alumni at APC and the gala each year, tonight it's particularly a privilege to recognize the members of these silver and golden anniversary classes. Speaking on behalf of the class of 1996, I'm pleased to present class representative, Dr. Eric Frickman.
Well, welcome everyone. Oh wait, I guess I don't need this. Well, welcome everyone from the class of 1996, the 25th anniversary class. We're all happy to be here, and unfortunately, as you know, we can't get together in person, but we'll do the best we can, through video. So I just want to, thank the School of Medicine. I thank the Alumni Association for everything they've done for us over the years, and certainly the School of Medicine for, basically all of our education in terms of training us to be doctors, and then being able to go out the world and to, serve those who we've served over the last 25 years. People think, the 25th year anniversary class, not really a big deal compared to some of the older classes. But when you think about it, a 25-year class is about the time that you've spent half of your life being a doctor. So here we are, we're all around, upper 40s to early 50s, and it turns out half of our life has been a doctor, and again, thanks to the School of Medicine. So, as a way to thank the Alumni Association and a way to thank the School of Medicine for the education we've received, the 25th year anniversary class, the class of 1996, would like to give back. Instead of us as a class gift donating money to build a statue or some kind of physical attribute on campus or plant a forest or some tree or some other type of class gift that we might traditionally think of, the class of 1996 has chosen to invest in the future. What do I mean by that? The class of 1996 is joining along with the School of Medicine and the Alumni Association in this program that is already established called the Pay It Forward Scholarship. And how it works is that the money that comes in through the class gift or that gets donated to the Alumni Association through the class gift or other means, but designated for the Pay It Forward program, gets matched 100% by the Alumni Association and 100% by the School of Medicine. So you're getting a double match, or some people like to say a triple match, but you're getting 300% of the money that you donate that goes to help a worthy student. A student who applies for it, they get deemed worthy by a committee, and then that student then receives the scholarship to help defray the costs of their medical school tuition. And if you thought it was expensive when we went, you have no idea what it costs now. So not only does the money go to help the student, but then that student, because it's called Pay It Forward, that student then agrees to put the money back into the system over the next number of years so that the system perpetuates itself and can fund even future medical students. So you've all heard of things like a win-win. Well, this is actually a win-win-win-win. You can figure that out. Anyway, so that's what the School of Medicine, the Alumni Association, and the class of 1996 are teaming up to do. And I invite every one of my members of the class of 1996 to join. I also invite and extend an invitation to other people from other classes, because the Pay It Forward program isn't just for the class of 1996, but it's something that anybody, any alumni, in fact, probably if you're not an alumni, you could put money into it. But it's something that goes to help the future medical students and then even the future. So that's what the class of 1996 has decided to do to help the future. We're excited about it. We've already started building up the fund, and it's super exciting. So I invite anybody and everybody to pitch money into it, and we'll see how it grows to help the future. So I'm really glad everybody's here. This is exciting. Unfortunately, it's video exciting as opposed to real crowd exciting, but we look forward to getting together with each and every one of you sometime down the road. Thanks very much.
Thank you to our honored 25th anniversary class for your generous gift to the Pay It Forward Scholarship. This is a scholarship I am excited about. It is the School of Medicine, the Alumni Association, and individual alumni and classes that are banding together to create something special. Thank you for this gift.
Now we will recognize this year's 50th anniversary class of 1971. Speaking on behalf of the class of 1971, I am pleased to present Class Representative Dr. Jeff Kao.
Good evening, fellow alumni. I'm Jeff Kao. I'm the representative for the class of 1971, which would like to take this opportunity to thank the School of Medicine of Loma Linda University for our superb medical education. We also thank the Alumni Association for keeping the members of our class in touch and for acting as a channel for alumni to support medical education at Loma Linda. Our class has decided to directly provide ongoing support for medical education by setting up an endowment fund to participate in the Pay It Forward scholarship program of the School of Medicine. The yearly interest from this endowment will be tripled by separate contributions from both the Alumni Association and the School of Medicine to reduce the tuition of 2 junior or senior medical students by 50%. Thus, 1/3 of this tuition reduction will be from the class of 1971 endowment fund, 1/3 will be from the Alumni Association, and 1/3 will be from the School of Medicine. This tuition aid is a gift, it's not a loan. The students, however, will be encouraged to participate individually in the Pay It Forward scholarship program when they have the means to contribute later on. The class of 1971 will continue to donate to this endowment with the hope of allowing the endowment to grow even more and help additional students receive the same benefit. We also invite the other classes and graduates of the School of Medicine to consider participating individually or by the establishment of similar endowments to directly help our medical students who need it so much. Thank you.
Thank you to our honored 50th year class. What you have done is very special because what you're doing is helping our students. So I look at it as our past reaching to our future and helping our students through the Pay It Forward scholarship. Thank you so much.
Dr. Weldon Schumacher, class of 1962, showed an exemplary commitment to the School of Medicine Alumni Association over the years. His philanthropic gifts to the Alumni Association, the School of Medicine, and Loma Linda University are widely known. In honor of his magnanimous gifts and his endless spirit of giving, the Alumni Association created an award in his name to recognize the individual who contributed the most financially to the Alumni Association this past year. This year, we would like to present that award to Dr. Ralph Corman, class of 1974. Dr. Raymond Herber, class of 1957, led by example in support of perpetual memberships, which helped to endow the future of his beloved Alumni Association. He found ways to encourage many to become perpetual members, including 100% of his classmates. In honor of his unwavering support and vision, the Alumni Association created an award in his name to recognize the individual who pledged the highest upgrade in a perpetual membership in the past year. The first recipient of this award goes to Kelly D. Beams, class of 1987. The Einer Sheld-Ritchie Presidential Award is granted to an individual of exemplary character and commitment to the vision and mission of the Alumni Association. It is named in honor of Dr. Sheld-Ritchie, class of 1915, who greatly influenced the formation of the Alumni Association. I'd like to tell you a story about this year's awardee. At its heart, the Alumni Association is all about supporting present and future graduates of our school as they carry out the ministry of Jesus Christ wherever they are planted. This is nowhere more obvious than our support of our alumni serving overseas. This year's Presidential Award is being given to an alumna who has contributed in exemplary ways to that mission. As an infectious disease specialist with a passion for mission, our awardee listened to the stories of alumni returning from Loma Linda's deferred mission appointments and became alarmed as she began to realize how unprepared our graduates were to handle diseases not seen in the U.S., such as cerebral malaria and end-stage AIDS. U.S. residencies, for the most part, have limited or no training in tropical medicine. She was determined to change this. Raising monies through Adventist International Medical Society, or AIMS, she was foundational in finding an online course on global health. Nudged by AIMS, LLUH eventually purchased an institutional license to the online course, making it available for free to all students and faculty. In doing research for tropical medicine and global health courses, she connected with Dr. William Stauffer, the then director of the Minnesota Center for Global Health, and was shocked to learn he had no knowledge of Loma Linda, despite our having sent out medical missionaries overseas for more than 100 years. Loma Linda had been left behind in the world of academic global health, as other universities developed global health courses and residencies, created affiliations with international universities, and performed actual outcomes research. This also she was determined to change. She rolled up her figurative sleeves and went to work, creating a global service pathway and a global health senior elective for medical students. Those who participate in the global service pathway will, by the time they finished, have completed the online course, attended a refugee health course at Johns Hopkins, served overseas, and rubbed elbows with some of the elite of the field. They will also be qualified to sit for the C-Trop Med exam offered by the American School of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene, a certification which provides academic credibility in the world of global health. In addition to creating real solutions to improve Loma Linda's presence in global health, during her 4 years as president of AIMS, a corporation separate from, albeit affiliated with, the Alumni Association, she brought awareness that AIMS was languishing. Committed to maintaining a focus on alumni missionaries as one of the ministries of the Alumni Association, the Alumni Board approved her proposal to dissolve Adventist International Medical Society as a corporation and form a new AIMS council within the Alumni Association. No, this required a non-trivial amount of work and was completed in 2018. Newly named Alumni in Mission Service, the Council has now greater support from the alumni staff, as well as more consistent connection with the entire alumni community. Because of her vision, hard work, and commitment to mission, this year's Einer Sheld-Ritchie Presidential Award is presented to Ingrid Bloomquist, class of 1981.
So when Devon and I were younger and we would read children's books, we didn't really see other characters that looked like us. We didn't see African American characters. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Devon, the only example that I can remember of reading a book with an African American doctor was Ben Carson. His story, Gifted Hands. I read that several times, and that kind of contributed to my interest in wanting to pursue the field of medicine. So with this book, it's interesting that we've actually created a resource now that's like that is sparking children's interest all across the world in medicine and showing representation and showing that, hey, they did it, we can definitely do it too.
The reaction was incredible. We set it up in a way that we can see where the downloads are coming from. And of course, we just wanted 100 kids to read this. And within the first couple of weeks, it was in the tens of thousands. It was very overwhelming.
You'll have someone right up the street in Loma Linda, but you'll also have someone in Paris looking at the book. So it's definitely way more than we expected, but I'm really happy that so many children were able to read our story. After our COVID book, we decided to make a series of books kind of talking about and teaching about different organ systems and then tying it in with the doctor that takes care of that organ system. So let's talk, for example, about our last book, Why Your Skin is Beautiful. That book talked about the integumentary system and highlighted and taught about what a dermatologist does. So first things first, after we did that, was coming up with the storyline. Usually we sit down and we type out exactly what the characters will say. We set the scene. After that, we usually come up with a storyboard of what we want each page to look like. From there, it's pretty straightforward. Devon is usually the one that deals with all the technical aspects of the book, so he'll reach out to our illustrator, who is absolutely amazing. So this would be an example of what we would send our illustrator, and then she turns it into this. So Millie or Susie and Grandma with Dr. DaCosta, and then Dr. DaCosta seeing an infant, children, and then adults. So we can have them with our hearts pump blood to our entire body, and then they can color Millie and Susie with their hearts. What do you think? Sitting in my room, typing on my iPad about Millie and Susie, at that point it was just a figment of mine and Devon's imagination. And then you share this baby, your project online, and you wake up the next day and you have 1,500 messages, and it's like, what did I just do? I feel like in all of that, my favorite messages are like, hi, my daughter just read your book and she wants to be a pediatric trauma surgeon and she's 3. And it's like, go ahead, you can do it. So I think it's just, you have these ideas in your mind, and when you share them with people and they take it and they run with it, and when those people are little kids, it's just so surreal for me.
Even before we started having the hard copies of the books, it was always free to download. So even now we have the hard copies now, the past books and the current books and the future books will all be free to download, because we feel that all kids should be able to have this. So everything can be found on our website, millionsusie.com. From there you can click on the links to buy or download all of the content.
In many ways, our distinguished honoree needs no introduction, for they are well known and highly respected by students, staff, faculty, administration, travel agents, and concert event planners. In searching through Alumni Association archives, we find that our person of note was named an honored alumnus in 1998. Through the years, our honoree gained a reputation for being a copious note-taker. Whether they be lecture notes, medical history notes, speech notes, or to-do notes. An astute statistician estimated that if all of the notes were compiled and stacked on top of each other, they would extend to the top of the Empire State Building 2 times over. After completing the first year of medical school at Loma Linda University, our honoree married Alice Lestine, a graduate from the New England Sanitarium and Hospital School of Nursing. Upon graduating in 1963, our person of note interned at the Washington Sanitarium and Hospital in Tacoma Park, Maryland. Following his internship, he served a 2-year stint in the Air Force at James Conley Air Force Base in Waco, Texas. Upon fulfilling his military obligation, our noble person returned to Loma Linda University in 1966 for a residency in internal medicine. He later took a 2-year fellowship in nephrology at Parkland Hospital in Dallas, Texas. Since 1976, our gentleman of renown has been an associate professor of medicine at Loma Linda University School of Medicine. In 1977, the school officially recognized the nephrology section, naming our man of distinction as head of the department. He served in that capacity with distinction until 1992. He has co-authored several publications and served as president of the Southern California Renal Disease Council. A few years ago, our distinguished honoree found himself jetting to Trinidad and Guyana, where he established nephrology clinics. As service is in his nature, we find that he served as the Alumni Association's APC Governing Board Chair for many years. In 2001, Dr. Bob, as he is widely known, served as president of the Alumni Association. A natural leader, he has held various church offices, including head elder. For over 30 years, he has produced the Calamasa Community Concert Series. Dr. Bob and Alice, who he lost on September 12, 2016, boasted of their 4 children. Douglas, an optometrist in Loma Linda, Alan, Vice President of Hospital Operations, Finance at Loma Linda University Health, Cheryl, an RN, who is a homemaker and a stay-at-home mom, and Deborah, a physical therapist. In addition, he has 9 grandchildren who keep him entertained and up to date on all of the latest and greatest electronic gadgets. It is with pleasure that we honor tonight Dr. Bob, who up to his retirement late last year was still making rounds at the VA hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with pleasure I present the 2021 Alumnus of the Year, Robert E. Soderblom.
Dr. Bob, we hate to surprise you like this.
What in the world?
That's what I said. That's exactly what I said. My name is John Cattenhorn, and about 45, 46 years ago, I was on your service.
Yes, I remember a Catterhorn.
Yeah, yeah.
You looked so much older in those days.
Exactly. You know, we all age a little bit.
Yes.
Anyway, but that's not the reason I'm here. I'm the incoming president of the Alumni Association. And so, on behalf of the Loma Linda University Alumni Association of the School of Medicine, I would like to present you with the 2021 Alumnus of the Year Award. And you can act shocked or whatever you want, but this is for you. Don't drop it, okay?
Don't drop it, man.
Well, this is a total surprise. I'm here at my son's place here in Redlands, and sitting out and enjoying the sun outdoors after breakfast, and who appears but the president-to-be of the Alumni Association and the executive director and the previous executive director. Total surprise, total surprise. Thank you for those of you who were entrusted to me to be an Alumnus of the Year of Loma Linda University. Think back to when I first became a Seventh-day Adventist and was the seventh of 7 children, 10 years after the 6th. None of my other brothers and sisters never went to college. Except when I became an Adventist, they said, oh, you've got to start going to church school. So, started going to church school. You've got to go on to college now. On to college. And then on to university. And had a doctor who graduated from this university who, believe it or not, paid my tuition through the last 2 years of academy, through college, and through all medical school. Thanks to Dr. Emmerd Pyle. It's been the most gracious, wonderful years of my life to have been teaching and practicing here at Loma Linda since 1971. Doesn't seem like 50 years now. It's been a privilege also to have worked with the Alumni Association of Loma Linda. And all as I can say is that you and I and all of us as alumni of Loma Linda University can be proud of such a school to have graduated from. Thanks to many of you who preceded me and who were my professors and my teachers. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to the Alumni Association for allowing me to be part of it over these years. God bless you all as you march ahead in your lives. And particularly today, I want to say to you students, you can do whatever you want to do with God's blessings. God bless you all, and thank you for being honored this day.
Thank you, Dr. Soderblom, for your visionary leadership in helping so many physicians, touching their lives, and being so passionate about our school and its Alumni Association.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we come to the close of our 89th Annual Postgraduate Convention Virtual Gala, we hope you've had a wonderful evening. We would like to thank many individuals who've contributed their time and hard work to making the virtual gala and APC weekend possible. We are also grateful to all of the volunteers who have offered so much of their time and talent. We especially want to recognize this evening's student table sponsors who made it possible for so many of our newest alumni to have food delivered to their homes as they enjoyed this evening's program. A special thanks goes to our Alumni Association staff and their dedicated commitment to making this weekend possible for us as well as all of our alumni. We appreciate you, Calvin, Armene, Carolyn, Sue, Megan, Nancy, and Jonathan. And finally, if you enjoyed our program this evening, as I did, we have John Cadenhorn to thank, our APC Gala producer who has tirelessly juggled numerous responsibilities and somehow managed to direct the coordination of tonight's wonderful program. Our many thanks to you, John. We will close this evening with a benediction by Joey O., Associate Pastor at the Loma Linda University Church. But first, the class of 2021, J. Min Park, will bless us with his piano reduction of Great is Thy Faithfulness.
Let us bow our heads for prayer. Dear God of love, we thank you for our physicians. During the midst of this pandemic, we have faced so much uncertainty. Uncertainty over our health, over our jobs, over the economy, over our country. And yet, in the midst of all of this, these women and men have firmly placed themselves in danger's path and said to disease, here and no further. Through their interventions, their actions, their compassion, they have fought the battle between life and death. And so we ask that you continue to bless them, continue to protect them and their families, encourage them when they are discouraged, strengthen them when they are weakened, heal them when they are sick. Raise them up on eagle's wings so that they can run and not be weary. They can walk and not faint. But most of all, Lord, guard their hearts so that they will continue to live lives of service and compassion that mirror your own. Our God of love, to you we pray. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes tonight's program. Thank you for watching the virtual APC 2021 Gala. We hope and pray to see you next year at the 90th Annual Postgraduate Convention as a live event. Be safe, be healthy, good night, and God bless.